Special mercy is given on this day for given on this day
I don't need to know who that is. I already have my suspicion.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning's Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's a recording of a class given by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, in Los Angeles in 1973. Canto 1, Chapter 15, Text 51. Please kick up the volume of your listening devices. Sometimes the recording level is low on the side. Without further ado, we'll start the class. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yaha śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ Pāṇḍoḥ sutānām iti samprayāṇam śṛṇoty alaṁ svastyayanaṁ pavitraṁ labdhvā harau bhaktim upaiti siddhim śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ Pāṇḍoḥ sutānām iti samprayāṇam śṛṇoty alaṁ svastyayanaṁ pavitraṁ labdhvā harau bhaktim upaiti siddhim śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ Pāṇḍoḥ sutānām iti samprayāṇam śṛṇoty alaṁ svastyayanaṁ pavitraṁ labdhvā harau bhaktim upaiti siddhim śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ Pāṇḍoḥ sutānām iti samprayāṇam śṛṇoty alaṁ svastyayanaṁ pavitraṁ labdhvā harau bhaktim upaiti siddhim śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ Anyone. Śraddhaya, with devotion. Aitad, this. Bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ, of those who are very dear to the personality of Godhead. Pāṇḍu, of Pāṇḍu. Sutānām, of the sons. Iti, thus. Samprayāṇam, departure for the ultimate goal. śṛṇoty, hears. Alaṁ, only. Svastyayanaṁ, good fortune. Pavitraṁ, perfectly pure. Labdhvā, by obtaining. Harau, unto the Supreme Lord. Bhaktim, devotional service. Upaiti, gains. Siddhim, perfection. Translation. The subject of the departure of the sons of Pāṇḍu for the ultimate goal of life, back to Godhead, is fully auspicious and is perfectly pure. Therefore, anyone who hears this narration with devotional faith certainly gains devotional service of the Lord, the highest perfection of life.
śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ. Bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ. There is a common word in English. If you love me, love my dog. That is very important. So, bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ, one who is very dear to Krishna, if you love such person, then Krishna is more pleased. Krishna is more pleased. Bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ. There is a version in the Puranas, Devi Purana. Parvati was asking question to Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva was replying. This is the process at home. The wife is supposed to inquire from the husband about spiritual advancement of life, and the husband must be competent to reply all the questions of wife. That will keep relation very nice. Savanam kirtanam, that is bhakti. So, Parvati was asking, because according to Vedas, there are so many demigods. Vishnu is sometimes taken, but Vishnu is not. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesha, they are the principal deities. So the inquiry was, which worship is the best? Vishnu or Lord Shiva or Brahma or Chandra? There are so many demigods. Sometimes they are misunderstood, that all of them are gods. No, they are called demigods. God is one. That is originally God is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna. So the inquiry was, there are so many gods, so which worship is the best? So Lord Shiva replied, Aradhanānaṁ sarveshāṁ Vishnu aradhanam param. Tasmāt parataro devi tadyanam aradhanam. Means, my dear, wife, Devi, wife is addressed Devi, not by name. The husband should address wife Devi. They must be like Devi. Devi means goddess. And the wife must address the husband as Lord. This is the system. So he replied, Devi, ārādhanānaṁ sarvesam. There are many kinds of recommendation. If you want this, you worship this God. If you want this, if you worship... They are described in the Bhagavatam. So, of all different types of worship, the worshipping of Lord Vishnu is the best, he said. Ārādhanānaṁ sarvesam Vishnu ārādhanam param. And again he said, Tasmāt parataram Devi, there is still better worship. What is called? What is that? Tadyanam ārādhanam. To worship the devotee of Vishnu, Vaishnava. Tadyanam ārādhanam. That is the best. First of all he said, Vishnu ārādhanam param. That is the supreme. Then again he said, Tasmāt, from that, Tasmāt parataram. Still better. Tadyanam ārādhanam. To worship the devotee of God. So, this is very simple method. You cannot approach God. It is not very easy thing. But God's representatives, God's devotee on behalf of God, who is canvassing the tadiya, that worship is better. Tadyanam ārādhanam. Therefore, here it is said that bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ, these Pāṇḍavas, why one should be interested in the Pāṇḍavas' activities? Arjuna's fight with his brothers. There are so many other people, they are fighting with their brother, with their enemies. Why you are not recommended to hear about that thing? Why the battle of Kurukshetra? Because Arjuna is there, Tadyanam. We are not interested in any battlefield stories. Why you should be interested? There are so many cats and dogs fighting. So we are not interested. But why you are interested in the Bhagavad Gita battlefield of Kurukshetra? Tadyanam ārādhanam. Because there is Arjuna. He is fighting. So, to worship God is very good. But to worship the devotee of God is still very good. This is it. That is also admitted in the Bhagavad Gita. Nacha tasmāt manusyeshu kaschit me priyakittam. Krishna says, bhaktishu, this Bhagavad Gita, anyone who is preaching this Bhagavad Gita, nacha tasmāt manusyeshu kaschit me priyakittam. Bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ. Priyakit, priya means dear, very dear. Krishna says that nacha tasmāt manusyeshu, anyone who is preaching the message of Bhagavad Gita to the suffering people of the world, Krishna says, nacha tasmāt priyakrit. Nobody is dearer to me than him. So, how to become very dear to God? Don't try to see God. Even if you see, you can see God everywhere, if you have got eyes to see. But the real business is not to see. God wants to see you, what you are working for God. That He wants to see. To see God is not very difficult business. Anyone who has eyes to see, he can see God. But to be seen by God, do something by which you can draw the attention of God and He can see you, oh, here is my devotee. That is not. Let God see you. Don't try to see God. That is foolishness. Let God see you. This is our philosophy. My Guru Maharaj used to say that. So don't try to see God, but try to do something so that God can see you. This is the philosophy. And whom God will see as soon as, just like any business firm, any man who is working very sincerely, he comes to the notice of the master, oh, this man is being very nice. That is what. That is what. So a devotee is not very much anxious to see God. God is there. Simply, and one who has become devotee, he always sees God. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva, sadaiva, 20 is. That is not very difficult. But do something so that God will see you. Oh, here is my devotee. So he, therefore, here it is told, śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ. The Pandavas were so dear to Krishna, so it is better to hear about the Pandavas than to hear about Krishna. To hear about Krishna, people may be very much inclined, but the Shastra says to hear about the devotees of Krishna is still better. Therefore, you chant daily, jasya prasadat sakshadharitvena samasta shastri rupta. The spiritual master is said that he is directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sakshadharitvena samasta shastri. Rukta said, Sakshadharitvena samasta shastri ruktas tatha bhāvvataiva sadvi. It is not only said, but it is accepted by sadvi. Those who are actually advanced in spiritual life, sadvi. Why? Why the spiritual master should be accepted as directly as the Supreme? Kintu prabhurja priya eva tasya. This priya, again, priyāṇāṁ. Because he is very, very dear to Krishna. Not that because he is worshipped as Krishna, therefore he thinks himself Krishna and declares, now I am Krishna. No. Kintu prabhurja priya eva tasya. This priya is what? Therefore try to become priya of Krishna. Do, act in such a way that Krishna can understand that you are very dear to him. And the very simple things that jayamam, gujjam, mat bhakti suvidhāsati, this confidential service, preaching of Bhagavad Gita, what is that? Bhagavad Gita preaching essence. Sarvadharman parittajya mamekam saranam vraja. Simply go and preach this very thing. Krishna says, Manmana bhavavad bhakta madhyaji mang namaskuru. This is Krishna's desire. Preach to the world. Just be Krishna conscious. Manmana. Just become Krishna's devotee. Manmana bhavavad bhakta madhyaji. Just worship Krishna. Madhyaji mang. Just to offer your obeisances to Krishna. 4 words. Then you become a preacher. It is not very difficult to become a preacher and to become a spiritual master. How? Very simple thing. Go and speak what Krishna says. That's all. You have nothing to manufacture, Dr. Frog. There is no need of manufacturing. We are very safe. Because we don't manufacture. We simply repeat, parrot-like, what Krishna has said. That's all. Finished. Krishna says, Sarvadharman parittajya mamekam saranam vraja. Let aside everything. Just become my devotee. Surrender. So we are preaching that. We don't make any compromise. Therefore all people are against me. Because this man simply says Krishna. Yes. But I cannot say anything more. That's all. So, to become priya, very dear to Krishna, is very easy. That is siddhi, perfection. Labdhvā harau bhakti, upaiti siddhim, perfection, highest perfection. To become dear to Krishna. That's all. You become dear to Krishna, that is your perfection. Highest perfection, supreme perfection. So such an easy thing and such highest perfection, why people should not accept this? And it is practical. It is just last night I was talking with Sutakriti, that this church, nobody was coming. Therefore, they were obliged to sell it off when we purchased. So the church is the same, building is the same, and you are all Americans, but you did not come before, so that it was to be sold. Now, everywhere it is packed up. Why? Because Krishna is there. This is practical. This is practical. There is no question of enviousness. It is practical. In Boston, one Christian priest said, frankly, that these boys, girls, they are our boys, our girls, either coming from Christian group or Jewish group, they are after all Americans. So they did not care for anything about God. Now they are mad after God. What is this? This is practical. There is no question of competition. It is practical. Because they are trying. They are trying. Our only business is just become dear to Krishna. That's all. Krishna consciousness movement means you are trying to be dear to so many things. Somebody is trying to be dear to his father, to his mother, or to his family, children, or country, community, society, nation. Everyone is trying to be dear. I will do such and such thing for you. Please give me vote. Please make me president. They are trying. And after all, the president also is not dear, neither people is not dear. The real fact becomes disclosed after a few days when the, what is called, face covering, mask is over, that's all. So this kind of trying to become dear is no use. It is simply waste of time. If you try to become dear to Krishna, that is siddhi, that is perfection. You are trying to become dear to so many objective. At last, to become dear to a dog, ferocious dog, it does not say anything to the master. That means the master has become dear to him. So, we are trying to become dear to somebody. That is our desire, dormant desire. But that is being misplaced. We do not know where to become dear. That we do not know. That is Krishna. If you become dear to Krishna, that is the highest perfection. That is explained in the Bhagavad-gita. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhai. Siddhi, the siddhi, perfection. Out of millions and millions of persons, one is interested to become perfect. Because this world is imperfect. So everyone is imperfect, all of us. But neither they do know what is perfection. But here is described, here is perfection. What is that perfection? śraddhayaitad bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ Pāṇḍu sutānām iti samprayāṇam śṛṇoty. śṛṇoty. You simply hear about the Pandavas. Practically, whole Vedic literature, the Puranas, the Mahabharata, especially, those were narrations, the Vedic knowledge directly, it is very difficult to understand. Just like the Vedanta Sutra, the code words are there. Athato brahma jigyasa. And now it is the time for inquiring about the absolute truth. This is sutra, code word. But that is described in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in narration. This is Brahma Jigyasa. The whole Srimad Bhagavatam is Brahma Jigyasa, Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Only this code is being, therefore Bhagavat begins. Janmat dasya jataha annayat idaratascha arthesu avijñat sarat. Because Vedanta Sutra says the absolute truth is that supreme source of everything. So Bhagavat begins from that word. Janmat dasya jataha, explain. So Purana means supplementary to the Vedas, to explain the knowledge. That is Purana. Mahabharata is also explanation of the Vedic knowledge, but through history. Because they found it that directly to understand Vedic knowledge will be difficult for three classes of men. Trayina suti gochara. Sri Shudra Dijabandhuna Trayina suti gochara. Tray means Vedas. Dealing with the three gunas, Trayunna Visaya Veda. In the Bhagavad Gita, Trayunna Visaya Veda. Tray. There are three subject matters in the Vedas. The first subject matter is to know God and what is my relationship with God. This is the first subject matter. Then, second subject matter is that what is the ultimate goal of life? And the third subject matter is how to attain it. To know God, my relationship with God, and what is my ultimate goal of life, and how to attain it. These three subject matters are Vedic knowledge. That is everywhere. Another subject matter is three, means Veda is dealing with this material world. There is spiritual knowledge in glance. Therefore, Vyasdev, after compiling all Vedic literatures, so many Puranas, so many Upanishads, Vedanta philosophy, and 4 Vedas, but he was not satisfied. He was not satisfied. So when Narad Muni, his spiritual master, came, he inquired that why you are not satisfied. So Vyasdev said, my dear child, yes, as you say, I have done so many activities, I have written so many books, but still I don't feel any satisfaction. So I do not know why it is. You can direct me. You are my spiritual. So he said that you have labored so hard in writing so many books, but you have not glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simply ordinary dealings with man to man, how to deal. Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. To how to make people religious, how to develop economic position, how to satisfy senses, how to go to the heavenly planet to enjoy more. These things you have described. But you have not described about Jino Atma Samprasidati, by which your Atma, your soul will be satisfied. That you have done nothing. You have read in the first canto, Jugupsitam God. You are diverting the attention of the people to the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, never to the bhakti. Then in future, if people are advised, come to the bhakti platform, not on the platform of the dharma, artha, kama, moksha, chatur varga, they will not take it. So whatever you have done, it is not very good. Better simply try to explain about Bhagavan. And that is Bhagavat. That is Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam means Bhagavat. Bhagavat means the Supreme Lord, and Bhagavat means about Him, or about His devotees. That is Bhagavat. Because a devotee is called Bhagavat. This is book Bhagavat, and a devotee is person Bhagavat. So, according to our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's cult, the Bhagavat should be studied from the person Bhagavat, not from the professional reciters, no. Therefore, Sarupa Goswami, because when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was present at Jagannath Puri, many people used to come, present so many literature, so many commentaries, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will not hear them unless it is passed by secretary Sarup Damodar. First of all, Sarup Damodar Goswami will see whether it is written properly, according to Siddhanta. Then we will allow. That was the business. So one Brahmin came. So there was many discrepancies in his writing. So Sarup Damodar chastised him that you do not know how to write, why you have attempted this. So he said, Bhagavat Parogiya Bhagavata Sthani. If you want to know about Bhagavat, Srimad Bhagavatam, then you study Srimad Bhagavatam from a person Bhagavatam, whose life is Bhagavat. From such person, if you read, if you understand Bhagavat, then you will benefit. It is not a scholarship, because you know Angvang, that is not the qualification. Bhagavat should be studied from the person whose life is Bhagavat. This is the instruction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal secretary. So here it is said, Jap śraddhaya. And what is that śraddhya? Tat śraddhayaitad munayo jnana vairagya jiktaya. Pasyanti atmanam atmani bhakta śṛṇoto grihitaya. Bhakta śṛṇoto grihitaya. You can realize, God realization is possible by a person who is faithful. Tat-śraddhayaitad. And what is that faith? That faith is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Śraddha shabde vishwas sudhira nishcha. One who has been firmly convinced. What is that conviction? Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam bhaja aham tva sarva papi bhamok. One who has got firm faith in declaration that if I become devotee of Krishna, if I fully surrender to Krishna, then all perfection is there. This is called faith. This is called faith, not flickering faith. Let me adopt this Krishna consciousness movement, and when there is opportunity, let me go to some rascal who is appeared as Bhagavan. That kind of faith will not help. That will not help. Śraddha shabdi vishwas sudhira nishcha. That is Śraddha. Firm faith. It cannot be changed at any cost, at any circumstances. That is called firm faith. If that firm faith is not obtained, then we are still on the imperfection platform. But when there is firm faith, śraddhaya, now if anyone accepts that Pāṇḍu, these Pāṇḍavas 5 brothers, son of Maharaj Pāṇḍu, they are very, very dear to Krishna. And they are as good or sometimes better than Krishna, because Lord Shiva authority, there are 12 authorities. Lord Shiva is one of the authorities. Sambhu, Narada, Sambhu is authority. He says that Tasmat Parataranga Devi Tadiyāṇāṁ Ārādhanam. Better worship. Krishna worship, Vishnu worship is good, but still better worship is to worship the Krishna Bhaktas. Because he is very dear to Krishna. Kintu bhagavat-priyāṇāṁ tasya. Why spiritual master is very dear to Krishna? Because his only anxiety is how Krishna will be known all over the world. That's all. He has no ambition, pound-shilling pence. He only wants to know, only wants to see that everyone is devotee of Krishna and they are happy. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees, for coming on to listen again. As we've known from all of the past weeks when Srila Prabhupada's lectures are played back, the recordings of them, so much that we learn. Oh, before we go to the thought that came to mind, I'd just like to share it. Srila Prabhupada was asked when it was close to time for him to leave the world physically. He said, what's going to happen no, he was asked what was going to happen after he leaves. After you die. He says, I'll never die. And I heard this is a video of it, so I just saw it in the video say that I will never die. I will live forever in my books. And of course, that means the lectures also. And even the morning walks and all of that, the questions that the Buddhists asked them. So much that we're benefiting from. And this lecture, the recording of it, now we're hearing. So Srila Prabhupada is very much alive. So much so that many of us don't even realize that he's gone. And as of 1977, he was gone. But still, we hear him like he's actually with us still through the lectures. So he said it, and this is being proven. So, dear devotees, this is the time to unmute yourself. You have comments, you have questions, you have realizations that really struck you. Please share it with us. Hare Krishna, Vishigada Prabhu, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Can you please start us off, if you don't mind?
Sure. Thank you, Parikshit Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
So I remember this lecture. I wasn't there, but we heard this. And I know that when the biographies of Srila Prabhupada were produced by Satsvarup Maharaj and others, that this was a big deal because Srila Prabhupada said several times in this lecture that the activities of the devotees are even more important than the activities of Krishna. You might have caught that a few times, he said. So at that point, we started regularly studying, in the temple, these biographies of Srila Prabhupada and discussing them, because how important they are for our spiritual development, to understand the activities of Krishna's dear devotee. It's just a very important thing.
Thank you very much for making that point.
Oh, and what we started to do that after studying the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita and others, then we've been listening for a half an hour. There's those videos that Mother Vishaka and Yadavar put together following Srila Prabhupada. So we play that on the Zoom channel for 20 minutes, half hour, for more discussion. It's very, very, very enlightening and very inspirational. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, yes, those videos. And as you mentioned, that also brought to mind, maybe it's the same thing, I don't know, but the video series, Remembering Srila Prabhupada, that your God family members would, describe different things, some minute things up to very big projects that Srila Prabhupada discussed with some of his disciples. It's all nectar, very much. And if you hear, you can get really addicted to it, hear one video after another. I'm glad it's there in the first place. Hare Krishna. Thank you for... Dear Krishna Prabhu, I see you raise your hand. Please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my humble obeisances. So in this particular audio, Srila Prabhupada says, so easy to become a guru. At the same time, in nectar instruction, we see the first verse itself says, Vacho Vegam, that verse, which itself is a big challenge for most of the people. So how to understand those two things?
Hare Krishna. Vishigadapu, maybe you can help with answering the question. Unless, can you repeat the question? Maybe paraphrase the question.
Yeah, my question is, Srila Prabhupada says in this class that it's so easy to become a guru. One who is, we have to just become Krishna conscious, and he mentions few other things. At the same time, in Nectar Instruction, verse 1, we see the qualification of guru, which is Vacho Vegam and how to control the senses, all that. So, which itself is a big challenge, big task for most of the people. So how to synchronize both the things to understand it is not difficult to become a guru.
Very good question, Guru. Vishigarafu, please, if you can unmute.
Oh, the comment. Of course, Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhayaitad api siddhānaṁ kaschid mam viti tatvata. Out of thousands of people, one is interested, and out of thousands of those interested, maybe one knows me in truth. Or is actually, so that might also seem to be contradictory to Prabhupada's statement that it's easy to be a guru. And of course, there's many different kinds of gurus. Vartma Pradarshika Guru, Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. So anybody who, there was the prostitute who told Bilva Mangala Thakur, if it took so much trouble to understand, to try to understand and get to Krishna, then life would be worthwhile. So he accepted her as his guru. So that kind of guru is Vartma Pradarshika Guru. Can be done by all of us. And to become a more qualified initiating guru, that'll take a little more practice and dedication and faith. That's my understanding. What do you think?
Guys, thank you very much for your, especially explaining the different types of gurus also. If you don't mind my adding just one more thing to it, or maybe a couple more things to it, that śṛṇoty Tanya and Srila Prabhupada also repeated the same thing, that don't dilute what's been said by Krishna. Just say it the same way. Say it the same way. The same idea should be transferred from one person to another in the preaching. And in that way, you become a guru. In other words, this is shiksha now. The person's, of course, on one hand, as Krishna was talking about, was talking about it. Nectar of Instruction, the very first text, talks about how to have the sense control first. And that person is qualified to make disciples all over the world. But that sounds to me like diksha, to make disciples all over the world. Its kind of understanding is when you say that, then you're being initiated then. The person who is like that can initiate people all over the world. But as far as the shiksha, the instructions, Lord Chaitanya says, say it exactly the way I've said it. Don't dilute it, and you become a shiksha guru that way. So that's how it came across to me. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. But we think that was quite important.
What do you think, dear Krishna Prabhu? Do you have some other follow-up question, or what do you think? Should it be more developed?
Yes, Prabhu. So what I think is, or how I understand it, is after both of your responses, that Prabhupada is saying it is easy, but there is a certain platform where a person has to, or devotee has to come up to before he should be able to give diksha or siksha, and that is to just repeat what is coming through the Guru Parampara, not to manufacture anything of their own. So probably that is what Sri Prabhupada is saying. Is very simple to just repeat, just execute what is being already mentioned or instructed in the Guru Parampara.
Yeah. But you made a very important point too. To get the preaching to be effective, it very much depends on the purity of the person who's also speaking.
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada says purity is a force. And for the few decades that I've been in this kind, in different situations, I've seen where somebody thought that they were excited about Krishna consciousness, they could preach and convert other people, bring them into Krishna consciousness. But they weren't taking their own spiritual life seriously. And the result was there. He could never bring anybody. It didn't work. It didn't work. And I've seen it in two people. I've seen the example. So it is true. Krishna consciousness is not cheap at all. Anyway, you were going to say something.
No, just trying to express what bothers me these days is a lot of preachers have come up all over the places on all all over the platforms, and without any proper monitoring or authority, and that's why people listen to so many sources and they get confused because there might be contradictions when we are not following the words of the acharyas.
And anyway, I was listening to a little bit of a lecture by Chandamali Swami this morning before we started this, because he starts an hour earlier than us. And he was telling his disciples, don't expect Kali Yuga to improve. It's going to get better. There's no getting better. It's going to go down, 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 down. So that's a very important point that, that it stuck with me, because some people may assume that because obviously the Shastra says that Kali Yuga is going to get worse until Kalki comes and then kills everybody and he institutes the Satya Yuga again. But sometimes it's good to be reminded about it, And when he said that, he also said that devotees will be protected as long as we stay with the holy name, we keep chanting. But more and more and more people in general are going to get confused about what's going on. I think it's all obvious already. And that people are now opening their eyes, so maybe just not seeing what's going on. It's quite obvious now. It's quite obvious. The leaders of the countries that are more, their lifestyle and their decisions affect the rest of the world. Those countries are vying for positions, and it's already a degradation, The whole thing is just being degraded because none of them remembers who really owns the earth, and that is Krishna. None of them even understand that, and that's why the confusion will always be there. Anasuya Mati, just thought you raise your hand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances, August of Prabhupada. There Krishna's question got me thinking, because one point that really stood out for me from Prabhupada's lecture was, I think he mentioned somewhere where he said that, people are saying there's American boys and girls, they didn't know God. So now they're looking and hankering and loving God.
Yeah,
something like that he said, because it got me thinking, and Dear Krishna's last point got me thinking, because that's why Srila Prabhupada wasn't successful in India. He came to America and it was a bomb, because he was preaching, he was cultivating, he was attracting people who either did not know God, who hated God, or whatever, but that God, quote unquote, the godness point was, the God point was not in their lives. So they were so attracted to Srila Prabhupada that they took up to Krishna consciousness just like that. And they love God like anything. I mean, we can see it till today, like, my goodness. Whereas in today's time, I feel that people say, yeah, I know God, so what's the big deal? I can go here, I can go there, because I grew up in that culture, because I grew up in this, so I grew up in that. So what's the big deal? Because, it reminded me of a family friend that I have back in my country, Singapore. Born and raised Hindu, South Indian, but he goes everywhere. Because to him, it's like, yeah, God is here, God is there, God is everywhere. He goes to a Chinese temple, he goes to a Japanese temple, he goes to the Hindu temple, he goes everywhere. So it's because I think that the point that Krishna Prabhu is, I feel, now again, this is my humble opinion. So, this is just my humble, my thoughts. I think at some point when we grew up in a culture that, we see God in our house, we grew up God, so we think God is everywhere, we cannot take God for granted. That's what I feel. We take God for granted, so we just go everywhere and we confuse ourselves, as opposed to when Srila Prabhupada came, the devotees just surrendered to Srila Prabhupada and they trusted him. They loved him and they loved Krishna. and they gave their lives to Krishna, and till this very day. So I think that's what's coming to my mind is that I feel people take God for granted. That's so they think they can find it anywhere and everywhere. That's my 2 cents. Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Right. Yeah, good point. Very good point. And as you were talking, there's a text in Bhagavad Gita that kind of, by the Lord's mercy and Guru's mercy, when I think about that, I have a tendency to break it down line by line. Namang Duskritina Mudha Papadante Naradama Mayaya Paritagyana Asuri Baba Masita. Those who are rascals, fools, and that is non-devotees and demons and so on. Lowest of mankind, Naradama. But when it comes to the third line, that is what I actually meditate on myself. And I always be very cautious about my own life because of that third line in that particular shloka. Maya Paritagyana. Maya has stolen the intelligence. And Maya, as my Guru Maharaj explains, Bhakti Maharaj explains, is an equal opportunity employer. She goes after everybody, devotee and non-devotee alike. And so even as devotees, our intelligence can be stolen also. That's why Srila Prabhupada warns so many times, don't go to those who are professional pavitraṁ reciters. You're not going to get anything from them. There's so many warnings are given. That's why Srila Prabhupada talks so much about the Mayavadis and their conception of things. And then be careful, because they can actually control the mind. If you're not careful, the mind can be actually polluted by their statements. And there are people who have come to the temple in Harrisburg, and they seemed very excited, and they came very excited, at least from their actions. But where are they now? I knew at least 2 people who came, and they've gone other places because somebody else told them that Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, they're all the same. They're all the same. So people can't be deceived like that. So that's why we have to be very, very careful. The Maya can actually steal our intelligence. So we hear and we hear and we hear from the right source. We hear from Srila Prabhupada and those who are repeating Srila Prabhupada's message, which is the same as Lord Chaitanya's message. Srila Prabhupada himself said, we don't dilute anything. We're just repeating the same thing. If you repeat, Lord Chaitanya says, you repeat what I say, you become a Shiksha Guru. Instructing spiritual master. So that's what we should, again, be careful about, because Kali Yuga, all kinds of things will happen. All kinds of things will happen. You don't even have to go watch karmi stuff. The advertisements alone tell you how bad things are getting. Somebody says, oh, they go to all kinds of things that they do to try to even get you to take their product. The product is already on the market. But then they will say, oh, this product, yes, it's on the market. Yes, it's supposed to be good for you, but it was produced from this source, and this source is very bad. And then they describe it just to tell you that you can buy the same thing from me. My brand is better. This is all going on. And this is an advertisement now. I'm not talking about this, an advertisement. It's like that. So it's going to get worse. We have to be very careful, associate together so that we do not lose the fact that Krishna is tu Bhagavan Swayam. Devotees will always let you know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nobody comes up to this level. He said it in the very first text of Bhagavatam. Asamurva. Nobody comes to my level. Nobody goes over me. That is Krishna. Hare Krishna. Anyway, I wanted to just throw that in. Devotees. So any other questions or comments from anyone? If not, then we just reached the top of the hour at 9 o'clock. Thank you very much for coming in. And the more we hear from Srila Prabhupada and hear from lectures by Srila Prabhupada and explanations given by Srila Prabhupada, the more our eyes get open and the more we're protected from the negativity that's out there and the propaganda that's out there. Everything Srila Prabhupada talks about makes sense. To me, it always makes sense. I hope it's like that for you also. So have a nice rest of your day. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhibhya eva cha pavitraṁ pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you again. Hare Krishna. Jai.